All right, so I'm just going to record it and sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it
Yes,
is
yes.
visible.
Yeah.
Great. So, I'll straight away start. There's no, we know each other, so there's no need for, formality and stuff. See, this is the first thing that, I'll just make things little clear. This session is all about, it's going to be a very short session, but this session is all about how to write your emails, not about how to build your email list. Okay, so just to be sure, because that's a totally different thing, and that's going to be, requiring a lot of effort in its own videos and stuff. So we'll talk about it some other time. So the first thing that I, think about before hitting that send button is, okay, is it going to really stop my readers whatever they are doing? Maybe they are watching Netflix, maybe they are having something, they're talking to somebody, they're just relaxing. Will they stop doing that and read my email? Is it good enough for that? I mean, is it really interesting? So even when you're writing a social media post, just think about it. They're just scrolling and they come across, maybe they had to do something, maybe they had to go for pee, maybe, but can they hold it for another 2 minutes and read this stuff? Is it that good? So no, so that's first thing that I do. And been getting some good response, something like this. See, they create emails are simply awesome. They create and maintain a sense of mystery until the last word. Not easy to stop reading once started. I literally wait for them. So these kind of things are something I really love. It's kind of nice. But how do I do it, or how you can do it, is a better way to say, right? So first thing, and ask me questions in between if you're not clear. This is something very, very important that you must inculcate, and this is something you will not get in any course. You name a course, I've done it. So so all email courses from all celebrities that you have heard, I've probably gone through all of them. So first thing is, find some recurring themes. What this means is, think of 4 or 5 things that you are that you want to come back to, that you want to bring in always in your email or social media post. Things like, maybe I drink my coffee in this funny cup, so bring in this cup. Maybe I have this habit of blocking one of my ears. Maybe it is my dog, maybe it is my wife, maybe it is a cafe that I regularly go to. So think of few things that you can bring back regularly and try to write that in your emails, right? Maybe so you can say, I was again back in my cafe, a name or whatever. So, people know, people will start relating you with that. Maybe beer, maybe anything that you love, basically, right? So वो positioning भी होता है. And so is this clear? Theme part, or anybody has got some questions on this? So I'll move ahead. Second is, make characters. Okay, somebody has written something. Clear, great. So before writing, now today itself, think of 4 or 5 things that you want to bring back always. Make characters of people in your life. So when you're writing your email, or maybe social media posts and stuff, always try to think of all the people. Maybe your brother, mother, maybe your friend, maybe somebody else. Make them a character, because this whole thing has to sound like some great movie that somebody is watching. So people love characters. People love good stories, and stories have characters, right? So think of how what is peculiar about that character. Maybe I'll keep talking about how my dog always barks when he sees something like this, so I can bring that back again. Maybe my wife has something. uh, so you can build that character, basically, right? And then keep talking about it, so people know more about you, more about it's not always you will never get a sale if you always sound salesy. Just a value driven, just a benefit driven, just a info, kind of thing, email, nobody's going to bother. Nobody's going to sell. You know this very well, that people buy from people buy from emotions. So when people know you a little better, they'll buy from you. So, that's why this is important. And that is why I said, this is very, very important. Okay. Every email that I write, I want to make sure, or even in my post, not maybe in all my posts, but if you now that I'm telling you all this, the thoughts behind how I approach email, you will understand that this is something I want people to know. I want people to know that okay, I am an atheist. I want people to know that I really love beer. I want people to know that I have got a wife. I stay in Calcutta. I've got a 13-year-old son, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Now, knowing doesn't mean that you don't want people to really like you. Maybe they can hate you. Not everybody has to like everything that you do. It's just that, are they knowing a little bit more about you? So I use this even when I'm writing for clients. I ask them about this recurring themes. I ask them about few things about themselves, which I can slowly reveal in each email, so that their personality comes out. Now, this is again very important. Every time I'm writing an email, I will just think about maybe Vipul. I'm writing this to Vipul, or I'm writing this for Arpit. So उससे क्या होता है, your tone of your entire message, or tone of your entire email or post, just is about, Arpit or Vipul or Dev or, Zobin. So, that gives you clarity. Well, when Arpit is going to read it, is he going to, how he's going to react, what he's going to think. So then you will avoid writing to masses. And that's again a problem, right? So even your social media posts, think of somebody, maybe you have some friend who, or a prospect who might have inquired about your services. Think of him or her and write that message. So it sounds a little personal. Use you in plenty. Jitna बढ़ सको उतना अच्छा. You is very, very important in your emails. I see, uh, I can show you some emails which are characterless, which has nothing you and all that. So I'm not saying to use you. I'm saying to use it in plenty, right? So you can do this. You can, this is this. When it comes to email or maybe messenger, I'm not very comfortable with chatbots, but I'm sure there are tags there. I've not written one tag. I've written tag, 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 tag. So tag and segment people from day one. People, you are already sending emails to a list of 3,000 people. You have to start tagging to people who are reading your emails, who is replying, who is a hot buyer, who is asking for more information. So make as many tags as possible from day one and start segmenting, because one of the things that you really want to do is at some point of time is 80-20 rule. Like, you want to send an email to 20% of your list. Who are those 20% people? So unless and until you have tagged or made a segment, this is going to just, the entire thing is going to fail. Resending is very important because, uh, what I've seen is most of the emails get opened in first hour of when you send. It obviously depends on the time zones and stuff, but I'm just assuming I'm sending it to India. Most of the emails will get opened in first hour. 50% of the email will open in 1 to 8 hours, and rest is just like that. So it's not about you know uh, I have to send more emails and stuff like that. It's more about you have to make more people read. So resending is one of the most important thing that you should do in 24 hours. One thing that really people get wrong is they talk about a lot of value even in your post. Please understand, people want to be entertained first, right? Or people really want to be entertained. That's when you start looking for emails. That's when you start reading something. Value does not mean teaching. Think of people are spending so much of I mean, think about movies. Okay, movies making 1,000 crores in few days, right? No, 5 6 1 week में, or maybe 2 weeks में they make 1,000 crores. So people are spending so much of money, 1,000 crores. Imagine in 2 weeks, people are spending on a 3 hour thing, right? Why? Because they want to be entertained. Why people are watching IPL? Why people are watching, some series? They want to be entertained. So value can be entertainment also. That's how you have to think, and that's the reason I tell that maybe start with some interesting fact at least, if nothing else. If you don't want nothing else, just start with some funny fact. That's why stories do great. This one is again very interesting, and this is something I learned from Daniel. He's my obviously favorite copywriter, email, whatever you want to call. This weird psychology, trick to create authority. How do you become better, or maybe how do you make your client, sound better than the readers, right? So because I said, it's a psychology trick. So what you have to do is in your email when you're writing, or in your post maybe. So think of the post every time I'm talking about the email also, because same thing can be replicated. You have to take a position which is higher, something like maybe you become a teacher, or maybe you become a general, and everybody is army, so you are giving command. You are a doctor, or maybe you are somebody, a manager, and everybody's intern. You are a head principal, and everybody's teacher. So think of a position which is higher and make everybody else. So I'll give you an example of this. I think I should have it somewhere. Yeah, in one of my recent emails, if you remember, maybe you have read. See, what I've done is, but first click. I snap my fingers, the room around you instantly changes into a classroom full of students. It's been a while since we had fun like this, right? You go to keep scrolling down this email when who's using this digital device in class? Booms a voice from the front of the class. The class goes silent. So what I've done is I have become the teacher, and I've made everybody as the student, right? The class goes, the hair on your arm stand up. This is the first name, somebody signed up. Sir, I think it's this. So this is your name. So, you're going to read it like, sir, I think it's Arpit, sir, I think it's Vipul, sir, I think it's Dev. So, this is a psychological trick. So, think of how you can do something like this. Like I gave you some examples, right? So if you use this trick, you will automatically become a better authority, right? So, I hope you can relate, teacher and you student. So I'm obviously, more knowledgeable, but it's a psychological trick, right? And a beautiful trick, by the way. Exaggerate. There is probably the best thing, is exaggeration as much as possible, especially when you're writing stories and stuff. Again, I'll give an example of this. If you have read one of my emails, this was about fal curry. Fal is the spiciest, mirchi that you get in Northeast. And this is from great copywriter himself. So, Vijay, right? So if you read this email, I've just, exaggerated everything. Like this is the spiciest thing, and this is actually the name of that spice. Certified this. See, pretty long email, and see, this is all exaggeration, right? As I was screaming, "Oh Lord, oh fuck, oh shit, fuck, oh my God," because I had that spicy thing, right? So, so exaggerate as much as possible. It's really a good thing. People love all that, drama and exaggeration. Why do you think? Ekta Kapoor and all that did all that in the serial. So it's very important. Then this is something people don't do. Always measure every single thing that you do, and measure is not always right by numbers. So maybe you are getting a reply, that doesn't mean only one guy replied. It can be maybe 50 other people wanted to reply, but they didn't reply. So, but yet always write your numbers. So every email that I send, you will find an Excel sheet of it where I'll say ki, okay, in 1 hour so many people clicked. This was the subject line. This was the theme of that email. So many people clicked on this email, on the CTA link, first CTA link or second CTA link. How many people replied back? All that kind of stat will always help you when you go back and see. Let's say you want to reuse something. Let's say you want to understand what really clicked. So only that sheet is going to help you do this. Some more quickly. Broadcasts are best written. Now, this is, can somebody guess what is this word?
Backwards.
Right. Smarty. So, समझ गया? Broadcasts are best. Most of the people, what they do is, they think what they have to sell and then try to write an email. Okay. So, instead, what you should do is first think of how you want to start. Think of the lead, think of some interesting fact, think of the story, and then transition that into a sales pitch. It's pretty easy to do. I can show you right now using it. Very simple chat GPT, thing. How to do this is chat GPT खोलते हैं. Interesting facts. कुछ भी निकालते हैं.
Sir, do you use Claude?
I use Bard more than chat GPT now.
Okay. Bard the paid version you are saying?
नहीं यार, मैं गरीब
फ्री में हो जाता है.
एकदम. चैट जीपीटी हो, अरे बहुत सारे ऑप्शन. अगर आपने कोई भी मेरा कोर्स लिया तो उसमें एआई का अगर कोई है तो उसमें आप देखो, पोए और ये सब मैंने आपको ऑप्शंस दिए हैं, वेर
हाँ.
you can even access not maybe for unlimited, but you can get it for
Limited access there is. Yeah.
तो उतना काम
Poe is also good.
प्रोजेक्ट है, जितना उतना हो जाता है. इफ यू हैव 3-4 emails, मतलब जुगाड़ लगा ले यार, इंडिया तो पूरा जुगाड़ का है. So but then I use mostly free stuff. अच्छा, अब देखो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. खाली मैं एक रैंडम फैक्ट ले रहा हूँ, ठीक है. यू कैन राइट इट एज अ सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट, यू कैन राइट इट एज एन ईमेल. कुछ दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा, फैक्ट उठा लो और उसको बोलो कि दिस इज एन इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट, राइट मी एन email starting with this fact and then transition देखो ये बहुत छोटा सा है prompt. I will obviously add a lot of things here. I'm just to show you quickly. I'm just giving you say so you got pretty. Abhi kya, did you know that bumblebee bat holds the title for world's smallest mammal? It's incredible how human nature can surprise us with such. Just like this tiny creature, sometimes the most powerful things come in small packages. Speaking of powerful yet compact strategies, have you considered the impact of email marketing on your business? Much like the bumblebee bat, email marketing may seem small in scale, but its potential to drive significant results for your business is immense. What do you think about this idea? Right? So, so this is what I mean, So I will think of this and then I will transition into whatever I want to sell. One of the ways is just facts or some interesting story, and I just showed you. So, कुछ नहीं, 2 मिनट में मेरे पास email ready है. इसको थोड़ा सा मैं आराम से better बना सकता हूँ. Emulate the tone of Gary Halbert. ये देखो change हो गया. See, but let me tell you something even more fascinating. The marketing lessons we can learn from this pint-sized marble. Now this, don't you think this is an interesting one? Just say yes or no. नहीं पसंद आया तो no बोल दो, no problem.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Right? So, khatam, you know, I have an email, I have a post, whatever I want to do. So,
Sir, but in sorry to interrupt.
नहीं,
Sir,
bro.
but in this type of email, is it good to exaggerate or वो हम लोग का personal stories या उसमें ही चलता है क्या? Like you
Exaggeration,
said, exact.
exaggeration हर जगह चलता है वो. हर जगह
Okay.
अगर आप उसको अच्छे से स्ट्रेच कर सको तो हमेशा चलेगा, you know, because that's why people want masala boss, right?
Yeah, yeah.
तो इसीलिए exaggeration का मतलब है बस, you know, adding more masala, that's it. And Indian
Masala.
people are, you know, used to having a lot of spice. Now second is उसके बाद, not second, उसके बाद is never ask questions, do this instead. One of the, I mean, okay, copywriters ask questions, something like, you know, do you want to lose belly fat? It's a stupid thing to do. Do you want to get more sales? It's a stupid thing to do. I will rather just rephrase it. I'll say something instead of saying, you know, do you want to lose belly fat? I will rather say, you know, today morning I read an interesting story about a fat guy who lost his job. It's talking to the same guy. It's talking to the same, you know, person, your reader who's fat probably, and you have a solution. But this is now more interesting. Fuck, you know, some fat job lost a job. I'm going to read this, right? So, and it doesn't look salesy also, right? So, do you want to get more sales? No. Today I learned about, you know, a company which got closed because you know, the leads dried up, or they didn't had some, you know, pipeline of leads and all that stuff. Now that makes people, you know, get into that fear and, you know, horror ki boss mere saath bhi to ye kahin na ho jaye. But if you say, you know, do you want more leads? Fuck, नहीं बहुत देखा है यार market में, रहने दो, कुछ नया नहीं है ऐसा interesting, right? So never ask questions, you know, try to think this. How do you use stories to sell? I've given you, you know, a lot of examples already, and if you are reading my emails, probably, you know, I do a lot of them. But I'll give you some more. Uh, this, like, I don't want to show you, you know, ऊपर क्या है क्या नहीं है, but let's just say, you know, this. I got a story, you know, कि a tennis star by this destroyed the competition. He won this. Then he retired. Now this was in the days when wooden rackets. I'm sure, you know, some of you have played with wooden rackets. I have played a lot. So for this, try to make a comeback. Except by this point, technology had advanced. Rackets were now made. So see, it's a story, you know, about कि how wooden racket वाला बंदा cope up नहीं कर पाया current इसमें, and then it's the same for business. And he was destroyed by players inferior to him because, you know, he couldn't adjust to this. This is same for business. We can choose to develop courses, do everything ourselves, and this might blah 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 blah, which record you want to use, and you know this. So when you do everything with a story, you know, of something like this, it doesn't look salesy. You know, people want to read it, people find it interesting, and then the best thing is you basically plant an idea in people's mind, not showing your stuff, but they say, oh yeah, I mean, this can happen with me. I want a solution for this. So that's why storytelling is a great skill. And this is how you do it. Make your email taste like Diet Coke. What do I mean by this? I'll tell maybe, you know, some other times. But ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं करने के लिए. Pick a fight, but play the okay. So you know, when you're writing email or social media, you know, stuff and all that, a lot of every industry में होता है ना. A lot of people talk about this, that something that you don't agree to, right? So you know, pick a fight. That's always going to kill everything. You know, your email, your social media post, whatever it is, it's just going to be devoured by a lot of people. But never talk about the person. Always talk about the thing that he's talking about. So if you don't agree with something that I said, maybe, you know, you don't agree with stories, you know, talk about how, you know, wise to, or if you don't agree with something like, you know, fact, talk about, you know, why starting something with a fact is not the right thing. But do not attack me. That's all I mean. Never ask for write your email, instead get them to, yeah, white list. ये white list ना, ये बेकार चीजें हो गई हैं अभी आज के दिन में, you know, it doesn't make sense. the best is if you can get a reply from them, right? And the smart way to get, ask for replies, not by asking them to reply something, because then they will think, kya reply karu yaar? Kya karu? Usko kaise likhu? Just make it very simple for them, say maybe something like, reply 1 for this, 2 for this, 3 for this, very simple. So I can just click on reply and type 1 and boom, done, right? So just think of reply in those things. How do you make people's life very simple? Don't have, don't let them think and all that stuff. This is the reason, exactly reason you face problems, or we all face problems in getting testimonial, because most of the people don't really know what to say. But if you give them a script, it's very easy, they will find out somebody else. Humor of obviously goes without saying. Should you assume people have read your previous email? If you're writing, if you are talking about something before that you have mentioned or written, it's better to include that some portion of that in your email. So don't assume that they have read it, right? Or at least give a link. I prefer to not to give a link, because then they go and check out a lot of things. I try to just put that small part that I'm referring to. This is very important. And I mean, I love, पहले ना बड़ा दुख लगता था, when I started actually, email marketing, building list and all that stuff. It was very, very uncomfortable. It really used to pain, like, इतने मुश्किल से तो subscriber आप list बनाते हो, and then these buggers, did this. And you think that you are writing so good and all that stuff. But now I just love them, because I want, serious people only. And my cost is also reduced. I don't want to talk to somebody who doesn't want to talk to me, right? So get comfortable with unsubscribes. 9, 10, 50, 100 कुछ भी होते हैं अभी, I just love it now. And और बहुत सारी चीजें यार ऐसे, ऐसे, I can give you tips. I want to talk about now some ways that you can get a lot of ideas to write emails. That's another thing. Or social media post. One of the ways is, make your Williams gallery. This concept is something, I learned from Ben Settle. Uh, I did one of his programs where he talked about, having a Williams gallery. So you make a list of all the pains, fears, frustration that your target audience have, and, just talk about them, keep talking about them. Second way of, coming up with ideas is think of news outlets, right? What do news outlets do? Think of any news channel. There's something happening around the world. What they do is they add commentary. So you see what is happening in your industry, right? And add your commentary, rant about it, be happy. I mean, usually rant and all that stuff is, really great, and you will attract a lot of people. So this way, again, you will never get out of idea. Other interesting places, I just love this. एक तो Reddit के trending पे जाके, whatever people are talking, Twitter के trending पे जाके whatever people are talking, these are some of the best places to find latest trends, and you can talk about it. If you get a reply, just talk about it, what somebody said and all that stuff. And always elevate people's thinking. Make them think, okay, this guy has got some point, I never used to think about it, or this, it's a new angle. So unless and until you elevate people's thinking with your content, nobody's going to again, think you are an authority, something good that they can benefit from and all that stuff. So yeah, this is it. And there are so many things that I really could have talked about, but बहुत सारा है ये सब, different kinds of emails, so you can figure out. So the reason I was doing this is, I'll quickly try to now close this. Like I said, 30 minutes. The reason I'm doing is I'm, planning to launch a live program where I'm going to teach you all this. This is what we're going to cover, a lot of things. जैसे greeting emails कैसे होने चाहिए, तो इस तरह से मैंने documents बनाए, why, how to set up expectation, how to create curiosity, what call to action and stuff. I'll take you through some launches also that people have done. Like, I make a list of all this. So Franken ka launch tha, to email 1, email 2, email 3 kya thi. So, you can just read about all these emails also on Amazon. So the idea is basically to teach you these things in this live program. the science of high converting email, for based on Big Four. क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी you have to understand what is the awareness level, what is the market saturation, all that stuff, and accordingly you have to write your emails. It's just that ऐसे खाली कुछ story ऐसा कुछ लिख देंगे तो उससे नहीं होगा. Just pitching your things are not going to work out. So always think about this. Then how to plan your complete strategy, how to write automated emails, kitne emails hone chahiye, what is the best time, how to do a launch email. Let's say you want to launch something in 7 days, how to do that, or what are the different tactics that you can learn about pre-headers, about signatures. There are so many things that you can do, just signatures. What is the customer journey, how do you define it, how do you take them through multiple touch points like awareness, consideration, all this. Then, of course, how to take care of list health, customer journey, subject lines, good email, body copy, everything that I mean, there are a ton of things. Then, also how to get email copy clients. This is something I'm going to tell you, and my thing is going to be a little different. It's going to be like, I don't want you to get into, those $100 ka ek email likhenge. No, I want you to get into something where you can get royalties. So you can probably make $1,000, $1,500 by, I'll tell you about that offer, how I do it, what exactly I do. I write emails, but I make more than what people make by writing sales pages and stuff. And you can also write for live clients, like, I'll give you my clients and you can write emails and, we can check how it is doing and all that stuff. How you can double your retainers. This is something, again, very simple thing if you start working with anybody. So what is the trick that I use to double my retainer immediately? Some email prompts and stuff. We'll do it every Saturday. And, 30 minutes teaching, 30 minutes same day, we'll implement Sunday assignments. For every day, I'll give you assignments. So this is what it is. In case you're interested, you can get in touch with me. We'll start this shortly. So if you have got questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, that's a goodbye from me for today. I hope this 30 minutes was, good. You learned something interesting. What questions, guys? Anything?
Sir, can we connect on a call after this session gets over?
Yeah, please do.